What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. It's Friday. A bunch of games actually out today. We have Far Cry New Dawn, Metro Exodus, Jump Force, and then, of course, Crackdown 3, a game that we've been following for a long time. In fact, since the Xbox One's first real E3 when it was out, we were really talking about Crackdown 3 and how big that game could be for the system, and here we are in the back end of its the system's life, and we're going to go over what happened yesterday because the review scores didn't do that well at all. In fact, there's a chance that by the time you're seeing this, the Metacritic may have gone down a bit more. We're going to get into that. Tetris 99 actually got data mined, and looks like there's some more Tetris action coming to that game. It's going to be really cool. And then we also got a new announcement. A new Hollow Knight game is coming out. You're going to check this out. It's going to be really neat. As always, guys, enjoy these videos. Do hit the like button. It does help out. We're actually going to start today with actually someone leaving Platinum Games, and it was kind of interesting to see this drop because it appeared that they had actually left at the end of January, and they have just now announced that they had left. And that is Yusuke Hashimoto. They actually put out a tweet over on Twitter saying, "This tweet will be a little more personal than usual. Yesterday, January 31st, was my last day at Platinum Games. The memories I made during my 13 years at Platinum, working with dozens of talented individuals on Bayonetta, Bayonetta 2, and Star Fox Zero, are priceless to me. Let me take this opportunity to share my thanks with anyone who has worked with me, supported me, or played my games. I hope to take the experiences I gained at Platinum and use them on whatever I work on in the future. Thank you again." So it does make a lot of people wonder, well, what's going on with Bayonetta 3 then? I don't think this is going to have a massive impact on it, as I'm sure Platinum Games has been moving on since then, which is but 2 weeks. It will be interesting to see if there's any issues there, and if they were working on Bayonetta 3 like that, if maybe they had to shift and try to figure things out. But I don't think Bayonetta 3 will be affected that much. It is interesting to see them move on from Platinum Games. I'm curious where they are going from here, and maybe they're joining another studio or something. It's hard to say, but we haven't really seen anything about Bayonetta 3, so I understand why people might be a bit concerned about it after even seeing this news, but we'll at least wait to see Bayonetta 3, and I think E3 is probably where Nintendo's going to talk about that game, and of course, like Animal Crossing, and we'll see Pokemon and others there, so we'll have to at least wait and see what they have in store for us at the big expo. We also did see Jade get revealed yesterday for Mortal Kombat 11. Now, of course, Jade was not a playable character in Mortal Kombat 10 after being playable in Mortal Kombat 9, so that didn't sit well with all fans. She's making her return, though, in Mortal Kombat 11. They put out an awesome trailer, very brutal. I'm not sure why everyone's eyeballs keep popping out. It seems like, every other fatality, people's eyeballs are popping out. I guess they figured out, eyeball physics in the game. But she was messing up Baraka real good. It looked very, very cool. Of course, the fatality is still super brutal. And I think a lot of people are really excited who missed out on Jade back with Mortal Kombat 10, especially if they got used to them in Mortal Kombat 9. But they keep doing what I thought they were going to do. They're slowly revealing more and more characters. Probably a good move because it keeps the game interesting up to its release, as they keep having updates constantly. I mean, we keep getting updates over and over again. Pretty cool to see, though, but there you go. Jade will not be a non-playable character. You'll be able to use Jade in Mortal Kombat 11. Then we also found out that Ubisoft made a bunch of money, which is good, I guess, because they didn't lay anybody off. They didn't do what Activision did and lay off nearly 1,000 people, and they'll probably, like I said, lay some more people off. Activision, that is. Ubisoft didn't lay anyone off at their conference call. In fact, they talked about how they made a bunch of money. The Division 2 is looking very promising for them, with good engagement and doing better than the first one in terms of pre-orders and interest leading up to the game, which is good for Division fans, especially since Division 2 sounds like it's more of the first one, just improved over what the issues were with that first one, so good news there. The interesting thing was, though, so we're coming up on their next fiscal year, which, of course, they are naming games to be announced or released at least in the upcoming fiscal year. They're saying there are 3 to 4 AAA games that they are going to be releasing. They say 3 to 4 because one of them is probably they're probably teetering on the edge, just kind of sitting on the fence. They're not sure if it will fall into that fiscal year, but that would mean that sometime between April of 2019 to March 2020, they'll be releasing 3. And there are some guesses being thrown out there. I was thinking Watch Dogs might come back. You might see Watch Dogs 3. And then I was really hoping, because we keep talking about it, and I keep hoping it's going to be there, and I feel like eventually they will do something with it. Now, I'm thinking of Splinter Cell, of course. I think Splinter Cell will be really cool to see come back. We've talked about it several times. It was rumored, if you remember, last E3. So maybe this E3, we'll see it. I don't know. I think Splinter Cell will be really cool to see come back. And it's been gone long enough that I think they could go back to maybe some more of their roots from like Chaos Theory, for example. Because that's still like one of my favorite Splinter Cells was Chaos Theory, and that felt like it was forever ago. That's because I played it back on the original Xbox. That was first when they showed off like bump mapping and stuff, and it looked significantly better on the Xbox as opposed to like the PS2, for example. But if they get back to maybe that old school style rather than more the run and gun that they did, that'd be awesome. And with some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. We're going to start right away with Crackdown 3. The reviews are out for it, and it might end up being one of the lowest Xbox games in terms of Metacritic score. It's definitely towards the bottom right now because at this time of recording, it is a 60 on Metacritic, and there is a chance, because it started the day at about a 62, and it's fallen to 60, there is a chance with a lot of the 5s and 4 out of 10s that are coming in that it could fall into the 50s. Much lower than I thought. I thought it was going to be about a 72, and it has dropped significantly since the day started. So it has been falling. A lot of sites are giving it those lower scores. Giant Bomb, a 2 out of 5. IGN hit it with a 5 out of 10. I've seen some 4 out of 10s come in, even a few 2 out of 10s. There was one site which was interesting that gave it like a 9 out of 10, but everything else below that has been like significantly average or below average. A lot of people talked about how the campaign is boring outside of course, collecting the orbs, which sounds like what the first one was, to be honest. I don't know what they've been doing this whole time, because apparently the campaign is about 7 to 8 hours long, and that includes collecting the orbs, powering up your character, running and gunning what appear to be brainless mobs of enemies, and that's kind of it. I don't know. It's odd, because it sounds like the campaign would have taken a year or two to build, if that, and I guess the rest of it was done on the multiplayer. I have to imagine there was some serious issues in development for this game, and I'm hoping that now that Microsoft has really built their first party lineup with their studios, that they won't have to be relying on other studios outside of Microsoft's, bubble basically, to build these games. I mean, Sumo Digital did a lot of work on this, as well as 3 other studios, and it sounds like it was a mess during development, and we're seeing what's kind of come out of that, which is a game that is severely average to below average for something that's been in development since, we think, late 2013, because they showed off a demo build in like midway through 2014. So it's been, it's been 5.5, almost 6 years of development for that game. It's the weirdest thing, and it was even delayed. Remember, it was supposed to come out during the Xbox One X time. The one thing that everyone's pointing to, and that's how I'm getting it. It's on Game Pass, so I'll download it. I'll play the campaign. I played the multiplayer. I didn't like the multiplayer. I thought the destructible environments were okay. I thought Red Factions were better, and that didn't need the cloud. So there you go. The good news is, though, we're moving on from what has been a very tough time this generation for Microsoft. We're going to be going into the next generation. They're loaded up with studios. I think Ninja Theory is going to show their game this E3, has been the talks right now going in E3, and Microsoft is going to have to show big time at E3 now, especially with Sony not there. Why not take advantage of the center stage? And I think they will. So I would like to see what Ninja Theory is doing. I think they're going to be able to make something really cool with that budget now behind them. And we'll see what Microsoft can do. But yes, Crackdown 3 didn't seem to deliver well to the critics. I don't think it's going to sell any extra Xboxes, really. And I think it's going to be business as usual going forward, with third parties mostly supporting the Xbox until Gears of War and then basically next generation. Next up, let's talk about Hollow Knight, because out of nowhere, this was interesting. The next Hollow Knight was announced. Now, originally they were talking about a DLC, right, for the game. They were talking about how Kickstarter supporters would get it for free and everything, and they look into otherwise. We were basically waiting for paid downloadable content if you had bought the game. They have been doing free updates. They even told us the last free update, so we knew this was coming. We knew it would be something we would buy. But they kind of surprised us, because they basically just said, hey, this turned into a really big thing, so it's a sequel. It's a standalone game. It's a sequel for Hollow Knight, and if you're one of the 2,900 Kickstarter backers, Team Cherry said it's free. So if you helped them get the game off the ground, you will be getting it for free, which is really cool. They said they will be sending out a survey, because they know the Switch obviously sold a lot of copies for them. By the way, they said they have had 2.8 million people play their game, which tells me it's probably around that in terms of sales. I'm sure there were some that maybe got it as perks, or I don't know if they did a Humble Bundle at one point. But if that's the case, they'll send a survey. You can pick, oh, I want the Switch, or I want the PC version, or on Mac or Linux. Then you can actually get that code for it. but this is a full sequel. And it's called Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, they revealed this in a trailer, and then they also had a full interview on it, which was really cool. And this is a brand new full game. It's not really a DLC anymore. They said there's gonna be a whole new kingdom to explore. This was all in kind of the press release that they put out. Over 150 all new foes, beasts, hunters, assassins, kings, monsters, knights. This is awesome. I mean, it's just more Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is an awesome game, and I'm really happy because what's crazy about this whole situation is they've put out free updates for people who have already bought into the game, whether it's on the Switch or the PC or whatnot, and now they're bringing out a whole other game. Team Cherry's made of 3 people, so, and then you see the trailer and it looks high quality, right, with the game. So I don't know where they're finding the time to do this, but I like it, because Hollow Knight is a game that everyone should be playing. Awesome Metroidvania-style game. I love the visuals. Obviously, it's great looking. So, yeah, I'm in for this. It's really cool to see this one happening. Now, unfortunately, we really don't have a release date for it. Again, it's 3 people, but I think it'll be coming out this year. We'll just have to keep up to date on the release date. And, of course, I'll let you guys know as soon as they reveal it, because, like I said, I'm in for that game day one. Next up, let's talk about some retro gaming news, as there was a ridiculous auction that went off, and it hit the news yesterday. A copy of Super Mario on the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, was graded and then sold for over $100,000. I'm not kidding. And you might be wondering why. And I don't know, because, I mean, if you got it with Duck Hunt, technically get a better deal. No, actually, this had more to do with the rarity of that version of the game. See, there were several different versions of the original Mario, and I think there was like 10 or 11 of them, and it all had to come down to like different variations of the box and how they were packaged on the wall, just as an example. But some of the first ones, they didn't shrink wrap it. They actually just put a sticker over the back, and it was basically branded as a Nintendo sticker and seal, and that is technically how you could tell it's one of the first ones. In fact, it's so rare, we don't really know if any other ones are actually in existence right now except for this one, and it's basically, it's almost mint. It's a 9.4 out of 10. The sticker on the back is like immaculate, apparently, and yes, we know how people are with the retro games, and that took off. Over $100,000. It sounds like several people actually banded together to buy it, not just one person, and I'm not really sure what they're going to be doing with it. I don't know if they think they're going to flip it for more money or they just want to preserve it, but that is a big deal right there. That's a game I guess you do get graded and sealed up because, of course, it's worth that much money. To some people, it's a house. So that is quite a bit of money there to have for a retro game. And it just goes to show you that, I guess, you never know. Like, someone could have maybe found that in, like, an estate sale or, like, an old, like, clean out from, like, a retail store or something from back in the day. I don't think anyone has one of those in their attic or anything like that, because it would have to be sealed and it'd have to be one of the first ones. But hey, retro games, of course, go for a lot, and most of the time it's not to open them or play them, it's literally just to pass around and hold on to it. And our last bit of news, let's talk about Tetris 99, which is one of the most surprising announcements from that Direct. I mean, seriously, it is an awesome game of Tetris, and it's like a Battle Royale. Who would have thought? Battle Royale Tetris. It works. It's great. I really like this game. It's very addicting, by the way, but of course, when you get targeted by all those yellow lines, it's not very fun. But otherwise, it's a good time. You start it over real quick, people jump online, and Nintendo did a good job doing this because they know it is attached to their online services. You got to go online to play, so yeah, you have to, of course, have their online service to play it, and I think it's probably driven some subscriptions there as people online keep talking about this game, and it looks like they're not done with what we're seeing right now, as there appear to be several other modes and features that are currently hidden, and data miners actually managed to find it. As you're seeing here, this is actually a tweet from Oatmeal Dome, who says, new game modes will be added to Tetris 99 in an update. Team battle, 2 giant teams clash, be on the winning side, which sounds kind of cool, because that might be like how we do 99, maybe how in like something like Fortnite, of course, they do like 50 on 50 or whatnot. Something like that would be really cool. Battle against 98 bots, defeat the machine, supports both 99 battle and team battle. Again, I'm not really sure how the team battle stuff will work out. Maybe it's just everybody on one side and everyone on the other, but really neat there. In bots is very cool to have, so you can get some practice in. Marathon, score attack, 200 lines, or endless. So it sounds like there's a lot of stuff, and what's really interesting is Oatmeal Dome goes on to talk a bit more about it, saying that Marathon will actually support in-game achievements. Yes, so there will be in-game achievements apparently in this that they're going to really unveil and have out there. What a cool idea for a game just attached to the online service. And that's where things get very interesting. Think about this. This is something they're going to continue to update. They could have more games in the works right now just for this. similar to like WiiWare. Think of that, right? They're games that were on their online shop specifically, which are kind of gone now, but specifically, and these would be targeted towards the online subscription users. And I guess they would just release them as free to online subscription users, and that's a great idea to drive subscriptions. So now we have Battle Royale and Tetris. What else can we do? I've seen people talk about Pong. There you go. Battle Royale Pong. I would have never thought of Tetris like this, and this is really, really creative and neat. So if they have more crazy ideas like this to give to the online subscription users, I say bring them on, because that could actually add a lot of value to this outside of those NES games. I still think the other ones, Super Nintendo N64, GameCube, for example, they might be holding off for a more expensive service down the line that's separate, like a Game Pass. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button. It really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about, whether it's Crackdown 3. Let me know what you think about that if you're picking it up on Game Pass just for some Crackdown fun because you like the first one. I mean, I know it's not like setting the world on fire, but if it's like old school Crackdown, I'll get some fun hours out of it, just running around collecting orbs, of course. And then what about Tetris 99? Are you stuck on it? Are you excited to hear more is coming? And then, of course, Hollow Knight 2. Guys, have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here Monday morning for Newswave.